Are you busy all the time? Are you constantly not focused because you've got family stuff, you're stressed, etc., and you just can't get into shape? Well, time is not a reason, and I'm gonna give you the exact blueprint on how you can achieve a physique that's better than 90 to 95% of people's within, I'd say, a year of just being consistent and training 3 days a week. Hear me out, okay? But before I do that, I'm just gonna let y'all know I could be a little distracted because I am walking this boy. So it's a friend's dog and I'm dog sitting. So yeah, I may or may not be in and out and I'll try my best, but let's get straight to the point. So if you want a good physique, it's not as difficult as you think. Big ol', big ol', big ol', come here. It's not as difficult as you think. And there's a lot of these influencers selling you these very extreme diets, extreme weight training programs, when really you don't need any of it, okay? Tofu, bagel, 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 come on. See, what you really need is 3 days a week, weight training 1 hour per session. So that totals about 3 hours in a week. And let's be real, you can find 3 days and 3 hours in a week to get out of your schedule. Check your doom scrolling, check how much you're spending on screen time per week. And I can tell you right now, it's probably what, 3 hours, 4 hours a day? Yeah, okay, some people might go, yeah, but it's, while I'm in bed or whatnot, I can't do exercise then. Well, yeah, you can. Get your ass off the bed, go to the living room, find a 20-minute Tabata video and do that, okay? Now, obviously, is that the most optimal? No. But the whole point is you gotta get into the habit of just going somewhere and doing exercise 3 days a week. That's all we're asking for. Now, that will not get you a physique that's, top 10 percentile or higher, okay? There's a lot more to it. But if you stick with the basics, training 3 days a week, follow something like 5x5 strong lifts. I'm not saying that's the most optimal. Bagel, come on, Bagel. Bagel, come here. Good boy. That is not the most optimal choice because it's more of a strength-based program rather than hypertrophy, and a lot of it is leg-based. But if you want to, let's say you're able to get 3 days a week and an hour session per day, but you don't know what to do, here's the blueprint. I'm telling you right now, okay? Full body, 3 days, okay? You don't need upper lower split, push pull legs, fancy stuff. Full body, hit each muscle group, roughly about 6 to 8 sets per week. If you're a beginner, you're probably going to want a little more just because you're able to build neuromuscular efficiency. You can prime your central nervous system to be more efficient at lifting. Those are factors that intermediate and advanced lifters will not have. Again, you don't need to learn about this. All you need to know is you can probably afford to do way more than 8 sets a week and still recover and build muscle. So you're gonna wanna aim for a minimum of 8 sets per week. Again, that gives you about 2 or 3 sets per session per each body part. Simple. Now, what do you need to do? If you literally don't care about how strong you get from a functional perspective, i.e., you wanna jump higher, you don't care. You just wanna be aesthetic, go all machines. Honestly, if you don't wanna invest in a personal trainer, use machines, okay? Machines have a fixed path of resistance and you don't have to worry about balancing anything. Literally anyone can get on it and probably do okay and build strength quickly on the machine and build a lot of muscle. Because at the end of the day, what allows you to build more muscle is what we call mechanical tension, right? You have to get to mechanical tension in order to build muscle. And I've talked about that in previous videos. Again, I'm not going to go through that today. Now, the thing is, a lot of people talk about progressive overload, right? Like how important progressive overload is in building muscle. Yes, but that's only assuming that your technique is good. And when I say technique is good, I don't mean to lift more weight, because your technique can get a lot better to be a better power lifter, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna build more muscle because you become more efficient at the lift, usually through either improving mobility, so then your range of motion is shorter, you become more efficient at recruiting more muscle fibers for the lift, which isn't really the target. Let's say if you're bench pressing for powerlifting, you wanna use leg drive. You want to be able to recruit your lats to help you with the lift. But if your goal is to build a bigger chest, you really don't want to be doing that too much. You just want to be stable, and then the rest of it should be driving from your pecs. You shouldn't really be using leg drive, okay? But you will progressively overload if you improve your skill and technique. So when I say technique, I mean it pertains to hypertrophy technique, okay? And that's a video for a different time. Now, the easiest way to think about it if you don't have a trainer is, do I feel the muscle or not? If you feel it, you're probably doing all right. If you don't, you could be doing the movement correctly, and I've seen that many times with beginners, but they just don't know how to feel something. Again, that's why it's really important to get a trainer, okay? Bagel, we can't come this way. Bagel. Hello. Oh. 佢好 chill 㗎咋 ，it's okay， 係啊 ，Bagel it's okay。Oh, maybe a bit anxious. Bye bye. Come on, Bagel. Let's go. Bagel, come on. You want to play, but you don't want to play. Okay, sorry. So back to the blueprint. Now you want to hit each body part 2 or 3 sets per session. That will give you roughly a total of anywhere between 6 to 9 sets per week. Now, if you're a beginner, you can probably afford to do more. So you can maybe do 2 sets for 2 exercises per body part, or you can just opt for 4 sets per body part. I would opt for 4 sets just because you can develop the skill of doing one exercise better, and that's my personal recommendation, but they both work. And that's the art of programming, which obviously takes a lot of time. I've been training for 14 years now, so we learn a lot. But hypertrophy programming is an art as well, and that's the beauty of it. Whereas with powerlifting and ollie lifting, it's generally a bit stricter because you have to get better at those movements. For example, if you're a powerlifter, you got to get better at squat, bench, deadlift. So your training will largely incorporate squat, bench, and deadlift. Now, obviously, conjugate method aside and whatnot, generally, the more specific you are with the skill, the better you'll get at it. If you want to be a better basketball player, if you want to get better at shooting free throws in basketball, what are you going to do? Shoot more free throws. It's pretty simple. Okay, so now back to the blueprint. Depends on what body part you find is lagging. So let's say you think for a guy, okay, let's use a guy as an example. You're probably going to want to build bigger chest, bigger back, and bigger shoulders. Arms as well, like biceps, triceps. But again, it depends on what your lagging parts are. And it also depends on your genetics. So some people will grow arms a lot better. Some people will grow their pecs a lot better. Based on that, again, we have to tailor how many sets you need to do. That's why having a trainer or someone who knows how to program is really important, because yes, you can get away with cookie cutter programs, especially as a beginner in the first year, but later on, you've got to tailor it to whatever your goals are, your genetics, your environment, etc., how much you're willing to train. It becomes a massive art, but keep it simple. I would say if you stick to these principles, you will get a physique better than 90% of people. Now, aside from training 3 days a week, you're gonna have to dial down on your diet if you want something that's above 5 percentile, okay? It doesn't even be that difficult, to be honest. Eat more protein. The easiest way, I would say, again, there's so many factors, right? Like if you're someone who's overweight, it's a bit different from someone who's really skinny. There's different methods. But long story short, you're gonna wanna eat about 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight, generally speaking. Now, obviously, depending on a bulk or a cut, it will vary, but that's a rough guide. A lot of it should come from carbs. You really don't need that much fats in order to build muscle. You do need good fats though, and make sure, bagel, you do need enough fats to ensure that your hormones stay in check and whatnot. But other than that, for muscle building, you don't need that much, okay? And that's pretty much the blueprint. Now, obviously, sleep is a topic that I talk about a lot, and that's really, really important. You can do all the training you want, have a great diet, but if you're not sleeping, bagel, if you're not sleeping enough, yeah, chances are it's not happening. You're not gonna be building much muscle, and you probably won't have the physique that you really want. In so saying that, it's still probably gonna be better than 10 to 20, top 10 percentile. You can probably get there even with crap sleep, and I've seen it. Anyway, that's the video. It's a bit shorter this time. I am in a hurry, but I hope that helped. I may talk about this more. Peace.